Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's lesson, I will be explaining to you on how to create three-dimensional objects. Illustrator offers some basic tools and features for creating 3D objects. These tools allow users to extrude shapes, apply various 3D effects, rotate and manipulate objects in 3 dimensions, and adjust lighting, texture and shadows. But before I begin, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notification of my channel updates. So let's get started. First of all, go to the window menu and click on 3D and materials. A panel window opens. Here you will notice 4 different types of 3D effects: plane, extrude, revolve and inflate. Let's start with the plane first. Create some shape. For now, I am creating a rectangle. Change the fill color and remove the stroke. Now in the panel window, click on plane. You will notice that the shape angle has changed. In the rotation option, you will see 3 axes: X, Y and Z. If I change the value of the X axis, it will rotate vertically. If I change the value of Y axis, it will rotate horizontally. And if I change the value of Z axis, it will rotate like this. Now, if I change the value of perspective, you will notice that the perspective where the apparent size of an object decreases and its distance from the viewer increases. From the presets, you can apply various inbuilt views like isometric left, isometric right, isometric top and isometric bottom. You can also apply off-axis views too. Likewise, you can experiment with different presets and see the results. Basically, plane is a 2-dimensional representation of a 3-dimensional space. Now the next 3D type is extrude. Let's click on it and increase the depth value. You will notice the thickness. That means 2D shape is now being converted to 3D. This is called the Z-axis. This is X-axis and this one is Y-axis. You can also increase or decrease the depth size. You can also twist the shape. Let's click on the selection tool. You will notice this axis guide. Bring the cursor over the line. Click and drag to rotate the shape in the Z-axis. But if I bring the cursor over to this point, click and drag the mouse, it will rotate in all the axes freely. Now you can see the shape from all the sides. For now, let's remove this shape. Create a square shape. Change the fill color to your choice. And in the panel window, let's click on the extrude option. See, the depth is being defined in the shape. You can increase or decrease the depth by changing the values. You can also twist. You can rotate in the Z-axis and you can also rotate freely in all the Z-axis and see the shape from all the sides. You will notice carefully, the backside of the shape should decrease as its distance from the viewer increases. To do this, expand the bevel option, scroll down a bit, you will see perspective. Let's increase the value and you will notice that the size of the back portion of the shape decreases. This looks quite realistic, isn't it guys? You can also rotate the shape individually in Y, X and Z axis. Or you can take the mouse here at this point and rotate freely in all the axes. In the panel window, you will see an option called cap. This is turn cap on and this is turn cap off. Let's click here and you will see a hollow shape. And if I click on this option, it becomes a solid shape. This is another very interesting option called bevel. Change the angle a bit. Let's activate the bevel option. You will see some changes in the front area of the shape. You can increase or decrease the width as well as the height of the bevel. This is repeat. If I increase the value, you will see the bevel effect repeats. Let's increase the spacing value. See, the space is being increased between the repeated bevel effect. These are bevel style presets. You can select any of these to see the changes. Let's click on round. You will notice that the bevel effects become smooth at the edges. Likewise, you can select these styles and check the output. You can check with each property and see the results. Let's delete this for now. Come, let's type some text, say 3D. The font that you choose should be heavy and bold for better results. Let's change the color of your choice. In the 3D panel window, click on Extrude. See how text changes to 3D. Let's rotate the text to a desired angle. I just try to adjust the depth. I also apply the bevel effect. Let's adjust the bevel properties. Now let's adjust the perspective to make the view more realistic. This is material, where you can assign various textures to the text or shape. These are all inbuilt textures available in Illustrator. You can just click on any of these textures to see the result. The system performance might be a bit slow depending on the configuration of your computer. These 3D features will not work at all in lower configuration or with no graphics card. For now, I select this wooden texture. And if you scroll down, you will see the texture properties where you can manipulate the textures. You can check with each property and see the results. This is lighting. Click and you will get to see light properties. You can change the light color. You can increase or decrease the light intensity. You can also rotate the light. You will see a blue point over here. This is called light point. If I drag, the value of the rotation changes. Or you can also drag the slider to rotate the light direction. You can also change the light height, its softness, as well as ambient light intensity. You will also notice that at the bottom of the 3D panel, there is a shadow option. Just switch the shadow on and you will notice a shadow behind the text. Right now, the shadow position is behind object. Click and select below object. You will now see the shadow is being projected on the surface. But the front portion of the text becomes dark as the light is now behind the text. So we need to rotate the light and place it in front of the text. But the shadow is not fully visible. There is a cut at the edges. Just increase the value of the shadow bounds to make the shadow fully visible. If you want, you can also change the value of the distance. If you want the shadow to be soft and diffuse, just decrease the softness value. To see the final output, you need to click here. This is called render with ray tracing. You need to wait for a while to see the final results. Here you go. Looks absolutely stunning. Wow. If you further want to do some changes in these properties, first you need to switch this off or else the system might perform slow. Let's change this material to some other material. Say this one. Let's do some changes to the material option. Okay, now let me check the final result by clicking here. Once you are done with 3D effects, go to the object menu and click on Expand Appearance. For the time being, let's keep this aside. Now let's make a square shape. Also create a circle shape and place it in the center of the square shape. Select both the shapes. Now go to the window menu and click on Pathfinder. In the Pathfinder panel window, just click on minus front mode. You will see that the hole has been created in the square shape. Now in the 3D panel window, go to Object and click on Extrude option. 3D effect has been applied. Now increase the depth and rotate freely to see from all the angles. Now it's time for perspective. Increase the perspective value to make the object look more realistic. You can also apply a bevel effect and check with its shape presets. Let's remove this. Now, time for revolve. It allows you to create 3D objects by rotating them around an axis. With the help of a pen tool, let's create a shape like this. I will be making just a first half of the actual shape, just like this. Select the shape. In the 3D panel, under Object, you will see a Revolve option. This option will rotate this part around 360 degrees to make a complete 3D shape. Let's click on it. The shape is created, but not to the desired shape that I wanted. In the panel window, you will see Offset Direction From. By default, the direction is left edge. Just click on it and select the right edge. Yes, that's it. The shape is now done. You can rotate and see from all the directions. Now, I increase the offset value. You will notice that the width of the shape increases. But if I rotate and see inside the shape, a hole is created. So I just bring back the offset value to 0 point. Now let's apply some material, or you can make the object shine by increasing the metallic value. You can also play with the roughness values to make the shine bright or soft. So let's click on render to see the final result. Wow, nice. But if you need to give some textures to it, just click on any one from the list. I just selected this one. Let's modify the texture color to say something like this. You can also play around with the texture values. Click on the lighting option. Let's modify the intensity. But one thing you should keep in mind is that while doing the changes, don't forget to switch off this render button, or else the computers might tend to perform slow. Let's play around with a few lighting values. I will be adding shadow to it. You see, by default the shadow is behind the object. Let's change this to the below object. Here you go. But the light gets shifted behind the shape. That's why the shadow is in front. Now rotate the light and make the shadow go behind the object. Now let's click on render. Wow, looks cool, right? Let's switch off the render option before you do some changes. Let's make the shadow a bit soft by changing the value of the softness. Now click on render to see the final result. Interesting, isn't it? Once it's done, go to the object menu and click on expand appearance. Let's keep this aside for now. Let's start creating a shape like this. Once it's done, click on Unite in the Pathfinder panel window. The overall shape is going to look like this. Now I want to make this shape half, so create a vertical line in the center. Select both the shapes and click on Divide. Right click and say Ungroup. Select the second half and delete. Now let's change the stroke color. Now click on Revolve option, and from the offset direction, change to right edge. Unique shape of the bottle is created. Now you can apply textures or give a shining effect to the object. Let's add light as well as shadow. Make the position to below object. Let's rotate the light and adjust the shadow. To make the shadow a bit soft, change the softness value and click on the render option. But you will notice that there is a sharp edge out here. Undo first. Let's adjust these values and again click on render. Go to the object menu and click Expand Appearance. Let's also keep this aside for the time being. And let's create a circle. Change the stroke color and click on Revolve. You will see a donut-like shape is being created. Now let's increase the offset value. You will see a hole in the center. Now this looks like a perfect donut shape. You can also play around with the properties and textures. I also add lights and shadows. Let's click on render. Looks cool, man. Let's expand this too. Keep this shape aside for now. Create a circle and apply stroke. Since this is a complete circle shape, I now need to remove this anchor point to make it a semicircle. Just like this. Select the shape and click on Revolve option. I need to change the direction to right edge. See, a 3D sphere shape is ready. Assign any material you want from the list. Modify its properties. Add light and shadow and click on render. Lastly, expand the shape. In the 3D panel window, you will see an option called Inflate. Inflate basically expands or enlarges the shape or text. Firstly, let's make a shape. Say star. Let's give it a fill color. In the 3D panel, let's click on this Inflate option. See how the shape bulges, as if an air is being pumped inside it. You will notice there is no inflate effect at the back area. If I click out here in inflate both sides, you will see that the inflate effects is now being applied in the back side as well. You can also increase or decrease the depth. You can play around with the properties and see the changes. You can also adjust the lighting properties as well. In the material option, you can also make the object shine by changing the metallic values. Now you can view the final result by clicking on the render button. Interesting, isn't it? Well, let's remove this for now and type a text. I change its color, and in the 3D panel, I just click on Inflate. Let's rotate and adjust the angle like this. Adjust the perspective view angle. You can also apply shine material to the shape. Let's adjust the lighting as well. Let's check the final output. Looks cool, right? Once it's done, go to the object menu and click on Expand Appearance. Let's keep this aside for a while. Now let's create a rectangle and make the edges curve like this. Create a circle. Fill the color to white. Pressing Alt, drag the shape to duplicate and press Ctrl D to create another duplicate. Select all the shapes, right-click and group it. In the 3D panel, click on Inflate. Just rotate like this. Go to the Material option and apply a shining texture to the shape. I just rotate a bit like this for a better view. Click on Render to see the final results. Beautiful. Looks like a real pearl with a reflection effect on it. Now let's adjust the lights and the shadows. Looks great. Well, once it's done, go to the object menu and click on Expand Appearance. Let's also keep this aside. Lastly, I will be making a rainbow and clouds and applying an inflate effect on it. Let's make a circle and apply black stroke. Go to the edit menu and click on copy, and next click on paste in front. The keyboard shortcut is Ctrl F. Now pressing Alt and Shift keys, scale down the shape like this. Select all, go to the object menu, blend and click on make. Again go to the object menu, blend and click on the blend option. Select specified step from the list and enter the value 3. Click on OK. Go to the object menu and click on expand. In the expand panel, click on OK. Right click and say ungroup. Deselect first and select and drag. You will notice all the blended shapes are now being separated from each other. Okay, so let's undo all this and group it by pressing Ctrl G. Let's make it a horizontal line like this. Select all. In the Pathfinder panel window, just click on divide. Now right click and say ungroup. Select the lower half of the shape and delete. Delete this too. Now select individual shapes and apply color to it. Now let's create a circle and apply light gray color to it. Pressing Alt, create multiple duplicates to form a cloud shape. Once it's done, select all the circles and make a duplicate and place it here. Then right click, transform and click on reflect. In the reflect panel, make sure that the axis is selected to vertical and then click on OK. Let's align this cloud perfectly. Now select all, right click and click on group. In the 3D panel, click on the inflate option. Let's rotate and change the angle for a better view. Go to the material option and apply a shining texture to the shape. Click on render for the final result. Nice! You can create simple 3D objects in Adobe Illustrator. Experiment with different shapes, settings and effects to achieve the desired result for your design. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I'll be back with some interesting videos soon. Till then, bye!